Hello, everybody. This is Alicia Renfro. Just was here to share our 2013 vision for LEAP. And let's start out with just first looking at what our purpose statement is for LEAP. It's a ministry for people with special needs and their families. And notice that the people part is new. It used to be just children, but as you know, children grow up to adults, and we don't want to let anybody age out of church, so to speak, and say you're no longer welcome. So we need to make a place for people of all ages. Again, it's for people with special needs and their families that loves them unconditionally and engages them in spiritual growth by removing the hindrances they face so that they see their worth in God's eyes and their place in His church. The next part here is looking at where we are currently in the ministry. And when I look at a picture here, you see these gears working, and what you notice is that there's this gear right here all by itself, and let's say that represents people with special needs. And before LEAP was a program at our church, with you, that's kind of how we were functioning, not very well. But with the addition of LEAP at Faith, we've added this kind of red gear here. Let's pretend red represents LEAP, and what it does is it does connect these gears. And so it's working, but I would say it's somewhat still isolated and by itself. Okay, so we want to change and we want to see what is our desired status here. Our desired status is that we'd be unified and multifaceted and integrated, is the word I'm looking for here. And that means that we're going to have participation, not just proximity. That means people are just not next to us, but they're interacting with us. It also means we have the same goals and expectations for everyone in our church. Now, if we give a visual on what this may look like in a church, here's a couple of visuals. Here's a picture of a bunch of gears, and we see this red rod that may represent LEAP, connecting different parts of a functioning parts together. So there may be somebody with special needs over here and somebody that's typical here, and we kind of help hold them together so they can work together. This next one is, you can see a bunch of gears and this special red one here. That gear might be the specialized need that LEAP will offer people with special needs. For example, our respite care. Maybe it's something only we can do for them. This next picture shows a bracket, and it's kind of representing LEAP being able to support people with special needs throughout the church so that they can serve and integrate anywhere they need to. And then you see there's some kind of red around representing the oil. We kind of help things run together with a little less friction. That's our job. Now here's the actual vision for this coming year. It says making level paths in His house, and specifically it means to make new paths, smooth existing paths in the house, which is the church, to keep from hindering parts of the house from integrating. We really want people to be a part, not just involved close by, but integrated. This integration is both personal as well as corporate, meaning on this side of the bridge is the church, and let's say the personal side's over here, somebody with special needs, and they have to choose to walk across that bridge. That's that personal part. They have to choose to get involved, or their parents have to choose to get them involved. And over here is a church, and they have to be willing to walk over and extend a hand and be welcoming and walk towards the other person. So integration is both personal and corporate. Now, I want to share some of the guiding verses where this came from. The first one here is Hebrews 12 through 13. It says, "Therefore, strengthen your feeble arms and your weak knees. Make level paths for your feet, so that the lame may not be disabled." Another one here from Hebrews, it says, "But Christ is faithful as a son over God's house, and we are His house, if we hold on to our courage and the hope of which we boast." The next verse here says, "I love the house where you live, O Lord, the place where your glory dwells." So because we are His church, we are His house, and we love this place, we're going to love the people in it, and we're going to make level paths for those that need to get through. So we're looking at making level paths in his house, and what are our values going to be as we do this. The first one is going to be house vision. This means we're going to look at the goals or the vision of Faith Church as a whole. And again, this comes from the fact that if we have expectations of one group of people, we have it of all the people. The next one here is belonging in the house. This is that personal integration part that's helping build a bridge in one direction. And this next part is the having the house help. That's building the bridge in the other direction. That's that corporate integration and us working all together to make this happen. Now, we look at the house vision. There's a lot of goals for faith in general. And so we've picked out the ones that LEAP can really help with. The first one is encouraging people into Christian community. Okay, that's especially like small groups. It could also include Bible studies, men or women. Our role then is to be flexible in how we serve. Okay, because if we're encouraging people to get into small groups, that may mean that they need a little extra help. It also might mean if families are getting involved in small groups, they might need some childcare. So some new venues may open up, and we really just need to be open to serving however those needs come up. The next role is developing a mindset, and this is just a way of thinking. Remember, LEAP is a ministry, but I don't want to just be a ministry. I think it needs to be also a mindset. How are we really thinking about other people? It's really going to start by asking questions. Questions might include things like, are people with special needs being considered? Do people with special needs belong? Am I being a stumbling block in any way? And am I loving others the way I want to be loved? Again, we want to be asking these questions not just when we're serving, for example, in pit stop or Sunday morning, but in a variety of situations. We want to be applying this in our personal life as well as ministry. And really, it kind of boils down to let's consider others before we speak and before we act. Now, another house vision that we need to embrace is extending a hand. Okay, this is really reaching out to other people and making sure they feel welcome. Part of this is going to mean that we need to be an example. There's a lot of people in our church who don't know how to interact with people with special needs. And so we are a role model for many people, and they will take cues based on our behavior and our responses and our words. So that's something important for us to remember. It also means we need to be a teacher. One of the things that we need to teach people by our example is just the people first language. Remember, that's when you talk about somebody, relating to them as a person first and their disability second. So I would say Amber with autism, not the autistic Amber, for example. You and I don't go around toting our disabilities or our illnesses when we introduce ourselves. I wouldn't say, hi, I'm diabetic Debbie. Okay, I would say my name is Debbie, and then later on I would maybe share that I'm diabetic. And so it's just important to remember as we speak that we think first. And what this communicates to those that have special needs or their families is that we're really taking time to consider them. And even if we make a mistake, they really are going to be touched by the effort there, that we're being considerate and loving. The other vision here from the church that we're going to embrace is helping people find their ministry. We always want people to be not only connecting and growing, but serving and using their gifts, because that's when the church really begins to feel complete and full and satisfied, and we're meeting needs of all sorts of people. This is going to be involving inviting friends to help. Remember, our friends are often very like-minded towards us, and they might be very open to serving in this ministry. And it's really important that we invite people and grow this ministry so we can have other people come. And this is going to require personal invitation. That always results in a better response than just, a blank email to some general people. And this invitation, again, it's not a commitment for them to sign on for a year or something like that. They can come and they can shadow you or shadow me or somebody else, and just come check it out and see if it's something they even would like to do. The other thing it's going to mean is encouraging families to serve together. LEAP is one of the few ministries in our church that families can actually serve together, that moms and dads can serve alongside their kids. And the beauty of this is that moms and dads get to serve, but they also get to role model service to their children. In addition to this, they get to mentor and train them in how to consider others and to love and to share and to be thoughtful. And so this is a mentorship within their own family that can happen. And boy, it's an amazing thing to watch. And some of the littlest kids can come in and play, and they grow up around this and their hearts are completely changed. So it's just a fabulous opportunity. So keep that in mind when you are talking to other families, and just encourage them to consider this. So once we've talked about the house vision, the next thing we really need to talk about is the house. They're making a place so that people can belong to the house. And this is really about seeing a need and meeting a need. We can't do everything for all people. That's just not practical. So what our job is to really look at what we have, what needs we have in our church, and then to try to meet them. So right now we have a really interesting opportunity. We have several young men in our 5th grade class moving up to youth group next year. And so our job right now is going to be figuring out how we're going to integrate them into our youth program. We actually have a task team that's forming and getting together very soon to start meeting this need. And this is a very exciting step for us, so you can be praying for us. The other part is, how do we get the house to help? What does that mean? This first part here is this connection campaign, and that really is me as a leader going out and sharing with other ministries within our church. One, to equip them with any tools they might need as people integrate into their ministry. For example, if someone's going into a men's Bible study, making sure that those leaders are equipped to know how to handle any tough situation that might come up, or that kind of thing. How do you speak to them? How do we love on them appropriately? We need to educate them, make sure they know the people first language, and just proper etiquette, and just helping them decrease any fear they might have with interacting. And then the third part there is just a partner in ministry. I think this is really important, that we as different ministries work together to accomplish God's purposes. And then this last thing, it says the table. It says it's coming soon. And this is a really exciting computer program that's online. And it's a lot like Facebook for church. And it's a very simplified version. But I'm going to be really pushing this in the month of February. And it's going to be very successful if everybody gets on it. There's a lot of capability there of people connecting, people praying for each other, people sharing resources, people just being able to discuss different things. There'll be calendar on there of the ministry, all sorts of fabulous things, even places to post pictures if you so choose. So this is a really great opportunity, and this will help the house help people with special needs and their families, as well as maybe you as a volunteer. So where are we? We're on a summary section here at the very end. And the first thing just to be reminded of, be flexible as new opportunities arise. Let's think outside the box and be willing to step in new places. Again, develop a mindset, just a way of thinking. We're not just a ministry, but it's how we think. And this starts with asking questions. The next thing to remember is be an example and a teacher to those around you. You guys need to use your gifts of compassion and understanding, and really equip and train other people so that they can feel more comfortable doing it. That doesn't mean they will necessarily jump into the ministry and serve that way, but it will mean that it will affect their basic interactions on a foyer on a Sunday morning, for example. It means to invite your friends, and remember, just encourage families to serve together in this ministry. So that really wraps it up, and thanks so much for listening and participating this coming year in LEAP. And let's go out and make some level paths in this house. I'm really excited. Bye.